you guys doing today? My name is Anima and today we have a post-commentated Pokemon X and Wi-Fi battle for you all, this time against Zyad, otherwise known as the Water-type Gym Leader for the Litheo region. Now this was not live recorded because I just kind of jumped on this while my opponent was available. They have school, they have so on and so forth, and I didn't want to waste any of their time because they have other challenges to attend to and so on and so forth. It was a little bit more limited than the other situations, but as you can see from team preview, he has a very fucking scary team. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I did wee a bit in excitement and in fear. These are some incredibly powerful Pokemon. These are the cream of the crop of the water tier, to be honest. Water tier? Yes, the tier! The water Pokemon! Water type! And yeah, I mean, I was quite prepared for this. I did kind of, I mean, it took the least amount of time preparation, but the idea was, I don't know, for some reason this didn't take as long, but I think it's just because I've been preparing for each gym leader with each game that I've just kind of gotten faster by virtue of 1,000 monkeys typing and 1,000 typewriters are eventually going to come up with something. So by law of probability, that's just what's occurred. Anyway, yeah, so very threatening Gyarados, Swampert, Azumarill, Tentacruel, Greninja, and Rotom. You got the walls, you got the threats, you got the problems, you got hazards even, so challengers of the Litheo region who have yet to do the water gym. This guy runs hazards! Watch out. And I am gonna guess that Zyad does research on his opponents prior to battling, because Xenon and I both, we both fought this guy, and we talked about it afterwards. And throughout the region, I mean, I say this because throughout the challenge, throughout the Litheo thing, I haven't run weather at all. My team doesn't really anything from weather. I mean, they can function with weather, but it's not like a staple of my team. In fact, I haven't run it at all throughout the region. Whereas Xenon has a Charizard Y and a Chlorophyll Venusaur, and you know, all these things that like the weather. That like the sun, and like in Xenon's challenge, there was a, I'm not really spoiling anything, so like I'm not telling you the outcome of the battle, even I don't really know the outcome of the battle, but in Xenon's challenge he had, the Politoed was there, and in my challenge, as you can see, the Politoed is not. So I was prepared for the Politoed though, and let me tell you a bit about my team before we go into it so you all understand the context. So we have the Unnerve, Sunny Day, Taunt, Thunderfang, Stealth Rock, Aerodactyl, intended to be the suicide lead with the Focus Sash. Just because I really wanted to be able to get the Sun up, which would nerf the water types, and combat opposing Politoed and so on and so forth. It would be nice. I mean, it sure as hell isn't a Charizard Y, but the amount of damage reduction that the Sun does to water type made me really, really interested in that idea. So basically the Sun is mostly there for Arcanine. Now I know what you're thinking, why did you bring Arcanine to the water gym? That's like the stupidest thing ever. Well, screw you, first of all. No, it's completely valid, and I was considering benching Arcanine for this, but then I thought, you know, in the Sun, Arcanine, I mean, Arcanine has access to Solar Beam, you know, and I thought if I can pull this off, I could Solar Beam the hell out of a lot of things, and it would be really powerful. And plus, people don't expect, like, the specially attacking Arcanine. Not really, I mean, it's a thing, but people just don't expect it. So we have a Life Orb, Modest, Arcanine with Solar Beam, Sunny Day, Hidden Power Grass, and Wild Charge. Wild Charge, reason being 4 times effective on a unmegged Gyarados. Solar Beam because Solar fucking Beam. And under Sun support, Arcanine can take Scalds, can take water type moves pretty fine, and Retaliate, got decent speed as well. So I don't know, I just thought it was a pretty nice situation, and plus if the Scrotum Bollocks was there, we would absorb Will-O-Wisps and stuff and things like that. I don't know, I just have a lot of faith in Arcanine in general. So we also have the Mega Manectric. HP Ice has been replaced, I mean it's kind of standard, but the HP Ice has been replaced with Hidden Power Grass. And Flamethrower on the standard set has been replaced with Thunder, just in case the Politoed was there, so we would have 100% accurate Thunders. HP Grass is obvious. We have a physically defensive Gastrodon intended for use against the Azumarill that I knew was going to be there. And yeah, with the Storm Drain, immune to water type moves, physically defensive, so on and so forth. Holding the Rocky Helmet, we do have the Hidden Power Grass on that, Recover Toxic, and I do believe Scald for the burn purpose more than anything. It doesn't really go with Sun, but it's more for the burn, and if the Toad was there, it would be doing a lot of damage. So, and we have a specially defensive Caesar, not running the Choice Banded that I've been typically running throughout the season, just because it doesn't do much against a water type team that resists the steel typing. So we've got the Defog for any hazard shit that might occur, and just Bullet Punch just for those kills that you know, that might matter ultimately. And we have a physical attack in Gudra, which is actually a set I am more inclined to use. This is Thomas, my Gudra. I love him. He's a babe, and I love him a lot. He's really cool, and he is Choice Banded Adamant with Power Whip, and this was intended to kill Azumarill because I do outspeed it unless it is invested in speed. So Gudra has decent speed, it really does. It's fairly decent. So we're gonna hit play, and yeah! I know what you're thinking, it's a bit strange to have Gudra for the Azumarill, but not to switch into a play rough, obviously. I mean, I would outspeed and hit it with the power whip, assuming it would land, it would do so much fucking damage. So much damage. If it was Sap Sipper, then that would be my life, but you know, whatevs. So he's going to lead with the Rotom, which is kind of a universal lead, as I go for the Sunny Day with my Aerodactyl, and he can't have expected that, surely. He can't have expected that, surely. But he's going to go for the Will-O-Wisp, which is a good play, because I could have been inclined to switch out there. Either way, getting Raptor burnt is a great move on him, because I can't really do much, but it's okay because we're not intended to attack, we are intended to just set up the sun, lay down some hazards, and taunt shit. That's what we're supposed to do. So I go for the Stealth Rock here on the switch, and that is fine and dandy and absolutely beautiful, as my opponent brings in Swamp Derp the Swampert. I really do like Swampert, to be honest. We're going to go for the Taunt, predicting the Stealth Rocks, because, I mean, I don't want hazards. I do not want hazards on my side of the field whatsoever. Raptor's going to get hit with a burn as I switch out, going into my Gastrodon, just because I know that I can wall this thing pretty damn excellently with Gastrodon, and Rocky Helmet would be a nice thing as well if it wants to just keep hitting me. So it's going to go for the Avalanche. It's not going to do anything, and it's going to get hurt by the Rocky Helmet. So that was a very pleasant exchange for me. It was very good. He is going to withdraw and go into the Rotom, as I go for the Hidden Power Grass. Now, it's not going to do an awful lot, but it's pretty good to just get some chip damage on the Rotom, encourage it to rest if that's its thing. We don't see the leftovers, so evidence does point to it being a Resto Chesto set. So I'm going to switch out, not wanting to be burnt, go into Raptor, who will not mind the Will-O-Wisp because she's already burnt. So, just pay attention to that unnerve. Just keep it in mind. It's just kind of something funny to keep in your hearts. So, I'm going to go for the Sunny Day here just to make things easier for Arcanine. I really want that Arcanine thing to happen. I didn't want to force the issue the first time I went for Sunny Day because I want Arcanine to be at decent health. Goes for the Will-O-Wisp, predicting a potential outswitch or trying to stall out the Sun. Either way, I think this is a fine play, really, staying in with the Rotom. Nobody wants to deal with it, nobody wants to get burnt. And I'm going to go into Matilda, knowing that I can take, even if it's a Hydro Pump, or I know I can live, at least. I could live in the sun. And considering this is a bulky Rotom as well, there's the risk of the Hydro Pump not hitting. And just, I don't know, I was just fairly confident. So he's going to go into the Swampert. So we both doubled out there. My opponent hard switching as to avoid getting caught by Gastrodon potentially. And we're going to go for the Solar Beam. I was fantasizing about this. Something serious. So the Solar Beam hits and Swampert is going to faint. Now, I was just like, yes! I was so happy about this, and I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Just because it's a bit of a novelty, isn't it? So out comes the Gyarados, and I was like at this too because I thought I'm gonna go for the Wild Charge, and that is going to fuck this thing up. I didn't really mind the Intimidate because if it was just like a non-Mega, then it still would have done an absolute metric crap ton of damage. But he is going to Mega, and I'm going to go for the Wild Charge. I wish I'd gone for the Solar Beam, but with it being still half flying as it was normally, I kind of thought that they might be inclined, if they wanted to set up, I thought they might be inclined just to stay as the normal Gyarados, and set up then resisting like grass type moves. But no, he made the better decision, all things considered. Yeah. I don't know if he knew that I had Wild Charge or if he guessed that I had it. Either way, I go into Raptor because I want to keep Matilda around. I want to keep her around for later. So I do go into Raptor, avoiding the Earthquake. I did guess that he'd go for Earthquake because the sun is still up, and I do still have like Gastrodon and so on and so forth and blah blah. Although it is Mold Breaker, so it wouldn't damage, but I just figured Earthquake would be the better play on my opponent's behalf, so I did go into Raptor, and I'm gonna excuse me, I'm just gonna go for the Thunderfang just for damage as he goes for the second Dragon Dance, and I was bricking it at this point, but it was pretty good that he actually went for the Dragon Dance ultimately, because I'm gonna go, you're gonna see why later on, I'm gonna go into Bubbles here just to take the Waterfall, because he can't go for Earthquake, so it was really good that I was in Raptor, and this is great because he's gonna go for the Waterfall and it's a contact move, and he's gonna get hit by the Rocky Helmet, which is superb. I can't tell you how great this is. Bubbles is going to get taken out, but Bubbles, you did good. You did good, Bubbles. You did good. And I'm saying this because now the Gyarados is in absolute range of Blister. So this was a team effort. Everybody worked together to take down this massive, gigantic threat. My opponent is very confident about setting up. I've seen them set up with their Azumarill, and it's not a pretty thing, folks. So he's going to go into the Tentacruel, and I was kind of content to just stay in here, wanting to see what this thing was about, and plus Blister in this occasion is my defogger, so I thought if he's going to run around and set up hazards, that's totally fine and chill. We're just going to go for Bug Bite here, just to get off damage, and that is a respectable amount, all things considered. I'm not invested in attack, and it is resisted, so I was like, yeah, okay, that's fine. That's totally chill, that's cool. But he's going to go for the Skull just to try and get the burn off, which isn't a bad play on his behalf, and I'm going to get off this next Bug Bite. Now, at this point, I did decide to go for the U-turn, risking getting burnt by another Scald, potentially, but this is because, this is because I wanted to switch into my Manectric and have Manectric come in as clean as possible, considering there is going to be some toxic spikes on the field, so I wanted to have Manectric come in with as much health, really. I could have gone for the Defog, but that would get rid of the rocks on his side of the field, and no, that wasn't going to happen because I wanted to just guarantee a good amount of damage here and there with everybody else. So we're going to go into Pulse, and Pulse is going to get poisoned, and that's okay. It's just a first stage poison, and ultimately if it was a second stage poison, it would take 3 turns of the badly poisoned damage to be able to do the equivalent of to be able to start really wearing away. First stage poison, it's kind of, I don't know. If you switch out more, you'd rather have the you'd rather be badly poisoned. Anyway, gonna Mega Evolve, and we're gonna go for the T-Bolt. Really happy that the Tentacruel was down to at least this point, because I never underestimate Tentacruel's bulk. I just think if it's at a good amount of health, I do think it can live a T-Bolt, just because it's just a fucking nightmare, really. So this is alright. I did feel quite happy with the amount of health that I was at, but it's still a bit worrying because the Azumarill is still a thing, the Greninja is a thing, and I needed Pulse to be alive for the Greninja specifically. I really, really needed that. I needed that more than anything because nobody else would outspeed. So I go for the Volt Switch and go into Raptor. Just kind of... yeah, just because, kind of to fodder it off, but here, he goes for the rest. He goes for the rest, and that's actually hysterical because I'm unnerved. And I've never really... just let me have my moment. I think it's pretty funny. So, so he's going to stay asleep. Not that it matters in the grand scheme of things, because we're going to go for the Sunny Day. Ultimately, the burn damage would take me out next turn, so it's not really that big a deal, unless you wanted to Volt Switch into something else. So, but let me have my moment. It's pretty funny. Unnerve Aerodactyl. Ooh. So Raptor's going to get taken down by the burn, but she was really important. It was really good that she was at the amount of health she was, because we're able to get the sun up again. And that's going to nerf the Azumarill's Aqua Jets to an extent. It's going to hurt the effectiveness of Hydro Pump Scalds from the Greninja potentially, so yeah. And as well, we managed to get off our Solar Beam, which is absolutely fantastic. We're going to go for the Solar Beam, Life Orb. Beautiful, 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 and we do a ton of damage. That's like 75%. That was absolutely amazing. So he's going to go for the Volt Switch, and Arcanine can take this just fine. But my opponent is going to go into the Azumarill, so I'm really happy with Matilda's performance. I mean, she put a real big dent in the team. I think she was very good. I think she was grand. But I'm very biased towards Matilda. I just think she's the tits. So the Azumarill is forced to go for the Aqua Jet, and this is great. This is fine. This is all right. Matilda, you did a great job. You did really, really well. You took out the Swampert really decisively, which is something that the rest of my Pokemon couldn't claim to do. I dare say it might even live in HP grass for Mega Manectric. I really don't know. I really don't know. Swampert is bulky. So my opponent is going to withdraw, being intimidated, and in the sun there's really, like, it's really deterred from going for Aqua Jets and stuff. So we're going to go for the T-Bolt, and it's going to take out the Rotom that was fodder just to kind of stall out the sun, I do believe, to give the Azumarill a chance, to give it enough juice to take down Manectric. So now Mikasa is going to come out, that's the Greninja, and Mega Manectric does outspeed Greninja, so this is precisely what I was on about. I did need Mega Manectric for this Greninja. Very, very much needed this to happen, so that's great. Mikasa, nice attack on Titan reference there, is going to go down. Shiny Greninja is just beautiful, to be honest with you. I just like black shinies, they're just so cool. Good lord, I want one. God's sake. So out comes the Azumarill, and that is the last Pokemon, and I'm just incredibly happy that this thing couldn't run around with its belly drum and so on and so forth. I'm going to go for the Aqua Jet, and that's not going to do enough as we get off the Thunderbolt for the kill. So really good game, Zyad. Thank you so much for the battle. I mean no disrespect to the other gym leaders when I say that this was probably my favorite game out of the gyms that I played against. I really enjoyed this match. It was just difficult. And it was really good. I mean, I would say that it has the highest presence of OU Pokemon, and that's not a criticism, that's just a fact, compared to all the other teams. So it definitely made it more of a challenge just because of the presence of higher tiered Pokemon. I mean, that's like, just take a few things, that's like a standard OU team, to be honest. At least, you know, those things do look kind of at home together. That's not a criticism, it's just a fact. So guys, if you enjoyed that battle as much as I did, that is the 8th badge, by the way. So we're past the badge stage, not losing any of our lives. Chazao! So amazing. Yeah, leave a like if you did enjoy that. If you enjoy this fact as much as I do, we have qualified for the Elite Four stage, which is honestly just the tits. It's just beautiful. So after a week, when the gym leader stage shuts down, we are going to be entering the Elite Four stage. So that's really nice. Been really happy with the league so far. Been kind of satisfied with my performance. I think it's pretty cool. Obviously, if you have any help, if you have any criticism, constructive criticism, if you're just gonna be mean, then go away. But if you have any constructive criticism, then I will be really happy to receive that. If you think I could build my teams better, then, you know, just feel free to give me advice. I am here to listen, ladies and gentlemen. But of course, if you're just being mean, then you're just being mean. But yeah, leave a like if you did enjoy that, leave a comment if you're so inclined as well. Answer the QOT dot if you're so inclinations. You know when you use a word too much and it kind of bugs you? It's gonna be, are you a thinker or a feeler, ladies and gentlemen? So that's kind of the head or the heart, really, mind or heart or whatever you would like to call it. And I'm asking you this because it's the spirit of the whole, like, I've been thinking about everybody's approach to their respective Litheo battles, and I must say that in terms of the battling approach, I've been very much a thinker. I've been trying to, as in, I've been really planning my teams around my opponent a lot, and not really just kind of chucking Pokemon at them and just seeing how they do. Like, that's not really been what I'm about, which would be more feelings, I don't know, just kind of going for it. Been very planny, whatever, about it. That's kind of a crude way to translate it, but generally speaking, though, aside from this, I'm much more of a feeler type person. I like feelings. I just have a lot of feelings. I am that girl in Mean Girls. I really, truly am. She doesn't even go here, but yeah, no, I'm much more of a feelings-orientated person. I think they're important. And it'd be cool if people could talk about them more without being seen as, like, weaker or anything like that. Because it's just stupid. It really is stupid. Like, you should just be able to talk about your feelings. I mean, of course, like, not to an overly dramatic extent. Like, I don't know. I don't know, just, like, causing drama all the time. That's not really a cool thing. But, like, if you want to talk about your feelings, I just think you should be able to. You shouldn't be seen as weak or whatever, being stoic or too cool or anything shit like that. But anyway, don't want to get too mushy with everybody there, which is ironic considering I just said you should be able to talk about your feelings. Whatever, just ignore me. But yeah, feel free to answer in as much or as little detail as you'd like. I never said I was a role model. Yeah. So yeah, do answer that question if you're so inclined. Let me know what you've thought of the Litheo League so far as well. Folks, I'm enjoying it. I have enjoyed it so very much, and I'm really excited about the next stage. Thank you everybody who has been by my side, who has been supporting our heroes, our little team over here, as we progress through the challenges. Thank you all so much for your continued support. I really do appreciate you being here. Now, subscribe as well if you haven't already, because it would be an absolute delight to have you around. But more importantly, the most important thing, more important than likes, subscribes, all of that jazz, is for you all to take care of yourselves, and I will see you soon, my friends. Bye-bye!